Universal Interactive presents a turbocharged extravaganza by Vicarious Visions. Brace yourself for Crash Nitro Kart!
Okay, so hello everyone, and welcome back to an all-new Let's Play on my channel, where we are now doing Crash Nitro Kart. Because I did a Crash Team Racing Let's Play back in 2017, and we all know that we're all hyped for Nitro Fuel, so I thought why not do Crash Nitro Kart as well. So, here we go, we're going to start right now, and we're going to first enter with an opening cutscene, so here we go.
That diet's a joke.
Well, I've heard you can lose a lot of weight on it.
But you can't keep it off. Just eat less and exercise more.
Something's wrong. That's not sunlight.
How can I defeat those pesky bandicoots? And conquer the world, of course.
Bandicoots! I can squash bandicoots.
Yes, I know you can, Tiny. But you failed so many times. Tiny, go see if Dr. Engine requires assistance.
Bingo dial! Throw the switch! What did you break now?
What have you done, you miserable marsupial?
I am Emperor Velo the 27th, ruler of this galaxy. My subjects hunger for entertainment. And word of your racing prowess has reached my glorious empire. And I hope you'll put on a good show. Especially since winning the circuit will win your freedom. And if for some reason you refuse to race, your Earth will be destroyed. But I don't think it will come to that. Do you accept my challenge?
Okay, so that was the opening cutscene to Crash Nitro Kart, which in my opinion is really impressive, because I've actually always been impressed by the cutscenes in Crash Nitro Kart, as most of them are set in the same location, but I still enjoyed them. So, and I quite like the character models they used in this sort of like era of Crash as well. So we're going to do adventure mode, just like we did in Crash Team Racing back in 2017. So we're going to do a new profile, and in this game you can choose between Team Bandicoot and Team Cortex. So you can choose any characters, you know what I mean, you can swap between them. At either team you've got to pick a team, unlike in the original Crash Team Racing you just picked one character and you're stuck with it. So we're going to go for Team Bandicoot, because I'm always on the hero side, I'm always an advocate for heroes. So this is what we're going to go with here. I'm just going to enter my name real quick, which I always use my real name. believe it or not. So that is that. So that's my name entered, so now it's going to check memory card just like it does in certain other games, let's say Crash Team Racing and Crash to Insanity. So we're going to go on the last profile, because I've filled the other two. Yes, I want to create a new save file, which is no problem at all. And now we can continue our adventure, or start our adventure as Team Bandicoot.
Do you accept my challenge?
Out with it!
It is decided. You will race across 4 worlds of my choosing. And if you should win each world's key, you will earn a chance to race the Galactic Champion for your freedom. To give you a fighting chance, I even modified your Earthling vehicles. Now, on to the first world, Terra.
Okay, so here we go, into the first world, Terra. Which I like all of the worlds and all of the tracks. I think they're absolutely fire in CNK, so as you'll find out in a minute.
You will have to race in order to win the Galaxy Circuit and go home. To compete in a race, drive onto a warp pad with a vortex on it. Finish the race in first place to win a trophy. Collect trophies to create additional vortexes to more tracks. Good luck, and drive fast.
Okay, so thank you for the look with Shaku Aku. So what we're going to do at first is we're going to explore around the arena, which I think looks pretty impressive. I like the night sky. I definitely like what they've done with like the moon here and put the face on it. That's always like sort of like been a bit creepy, but I've always kind of liked that. But I'd say I like the vibrant colours and the detail I put into this homeworld right here. So this takes you to the second homeworld, so we have gates to go through. It's not all one bigger world, unlike Crash Team Racing. It's actually through different portals, and this takes you out to the main citadel, where you can access the other worlds as well. And we also have this cave section here, which is really cool as well, where you can get a shortcut to the fourth world, I believe. As I say, I like the torches on the wall, the extra detail in here, so that's actually pretty impressive, as you'll find out. So now we're going to do our first race, Inferno Island.
A warp pad is your gateway to a race. To compete in a race, drive onto a warp pad with a vortex on it, and you will be transported to the track. Finish the race in first place to win a trophy. Collect trophies to create vortexes to other tracks.
So it's sort of like similar system to Crash Team Racing. So we're going to at first do you can select your characters, by the way. So you got Coco Bandicoot, which is favours handling, Crash Bandicoot, which is balanced, and of course Crunch Bandicoot, which favours speed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with the balanced option, Crash Bandicoot, as I did in my Crash Team Racing Let's Play. Although we'll be changing the characters out, just to let you know, which would be something pretty cool. So we can explore the different, let's say, handling characteristics and feel of every different character in the game. So here we go with our first race on Inferno Island. Of which you will see in a minute that a lot of the tracks in Crash Nitro Kart have a lot of similarity and resemblance to those of Crash Team Racing. And believe it or not, I've never actually played Crash Tag Team Racing, because I've never been able to get it to work with my emulator. In fact, I've been trying for absolutely ages to try to get this record with PCSX2, which I finally managed to get working, because I've just upgraded and put a new battery in my computer, so that's improved the performance quite a lot. So this is why I've been able to record this. However, I do get some lag issues when recording in 1080p, so unfortunately I'm going to have to render and upload these, as well as record these in 720p, because I still want that 60 FPS because it looks pretty choppy without it. However, my computer's not quite up to 1080p and it does use a lot of hard drive space, especially if you're doing 60 FPS. So that's why this will be in 720p. Sorry, you'll have to let me know how it looks, but hopefully it shouldn't look too bad. So anyway, as you can see with this track right here, it sort of like resembles Crash Cove and Mystery Caves. Or Mystic Caves, I can't exactly remember the word for that track, but it sort of like resembles them tracks a bit. So a lot of the tracks are sort of like hybrids and crossovers, as you may notice. Although I will say that a lot of people seem to sort of like hate on this game for some reason. Sort of like put biased hate speech out towards it, and to be honest, I've actually always pretty much liked it. I'd definitely say it's in my top 10 Crash Bandicoots. Not as good as Crash Team Racing, but still, I'd say in my top 10. So here we go, we've got first place on our first track right here, which is of course Inferno Island. So that is our first trophy collected. And you'll also see that the victory cutscenes are now in the Central Citadel instead of each let's say Homeworld or let's say Warp area. So now we are going to move on to doing our second race.
Congratulations! You win a trophy! If you hop off of a jump, you'll get a boost when you land. The longer you're in the air, the larger your boost will be.
So far everything seems to be going well, and I seem to be staying at a solid 60 FPS, which is what I'm wanting to see. So now we're going to go into our second track, which is Jungle Boogie. And I've also as well messed around with the colour a bit. I've added a little bit of extra contrast, brightness and saturation, so it sort of like makes the picture pop a little bit more. Because it looks a little bit dull as standard, you know, because old PS2 games, and I'm actually quite impressed with the way I've made it look. Oh, we have got a bit of slowdown here with frame rates, but that's hopefully should not be an issue for long. Now just the starting, because there's certain parts of the track where let's say it's busy with graphical elements, so you might experience a little bit of lag and frame drops every now and then, but hopefully it shouldn't be too bad. As I say, Crash Nitro Kart is very underrated in my opinion, although I will say one thing, and that is that the controls in Crash Nitro Kart can't even hold a candle to the ones of Crash Team Racing, because I may have mentioned before that the controls in Crash Team Racing are very slick and responsive, and like they really hold up to today's standard, where these ones seem to feel a little bit dull and disconnected and laggy. They sort of like feel extremely vague compared to Crash Team Racing. So let's say the characters, the handling, all feels a little bit heavy in Crash Nitro Kart. However, it is not a deal breaker at all, because I do like the game pretty much, and that does not really take away from the experience a lot, but I'm just wondering what Nitro Fuel's going to be like in terms of controls. That'll be pretty interesting to find out. According to some people who've actually tested it out, let's say for example Crystal Fisher, they've actually turned out pretty good in my opinion. Well, to what I've heard anyway, to what he's described, you know, my views on it and stuff like that, to what he's been saying. So they're not quite on par with Crash Team Racing's controls, but they're much better than Crash Nitro Kart, so that is a happy balance. I mean, I don't want everything to be perfect, but so far it sounds like it's coming along quite nicely. So here we go, that's our second trophy now collected, which is all good stuff. So So we're just about halfway through the first part right now. And of course, as you may see, there are actually some extra characters in Crash Nitro Kart being added. Such as ones from, let's say, Crash Bandicoot 2, Entranced, for the GBA.
Congratulations! You win a trophy! When taking a turn, your cart will slow down. To avoid slowing down, start a power slide by pressing and holding the hop button while turning. The power slide ends if your cart hits anything or goes out of bounds.
And speaking of a GBA version of Crash Nitro Kart, you can actually unlock Spyro as a playable character if you 100% complete the game, which I've always found to be pretty neat. And I'm kind of hoping that they put Spyro in Nitro Fueled, because, I mean, I love Spyro, I love Crash, it just wouldn't make any sense at all to not put Spyro in the new CTR game. Maybe I've got my hopes a little bit too high. But we're now on our third track, which is Tiny Temple, which is sort of a little bit reminds me of Tiny Arena. Oh, we are a bit laggy here, but hopefully it shouldn't be too bad. The speed's nearly 100%, so that's all that really matters. So I quite like this track because it kind of reminds me of what's the track from Crash Team Racing? Is it Tiger Temple? And also it seems to combine mystery caves as well, which is quite a neat thing. And this is something really cool. You actually do a loop, which is something that was all new to racing games back then. You see, all you pro Nintendo advocates may be saying Mario Kart 8 was the first game to have anti-gravity. Well, I'm sorry, but you are very wrong, because as you can see, it was actually Crash Nitro Kart. And this is something that's kind of disappointed me a little bit with Nitro Fueled as of yet. They seem to have removed the anti-gravity sections from the tracks of Crash Nitro Kart, which they've just recently announced, which I'm over the moon with because I love Crash Nitro Kart tracks, so I'm really impressed that they've added them to Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, although I really do hope that they keep this loop intact, because I'd hate to see this loop be replaced with a bridge. I mean, come on. In my honest opinion, that'd just downright be dumb. I mean, I can kind of understand if, let's say, they haven't got the time to develop properly, but a lot of people are kind of impressed that the anti-gravity thing has been removed, but personally I'm not, because I always found that to be a pretty cool thing of Crash Nitro Kart. And my boost combo is going pretty well right now. Well, it was. I got 68 boosts, which is the perhaps the record so far. But as I say, I'm not the best at Crash Team or Crash Nitro Kart, because I'm mostly good at Crash Team Racing. Especially after I've been playing Crash Team Racing for a bit, I will immediately notice that the controls are definitely sort of like not the same standard, as I've said before, as Crash Team Racing. However, it's still a very fun game, and I absolutely do love the tracks in this game, so this has just been 3 examples. So now that should be all of the trophies collected from the Terra Homeworld. Yes. Nice. So that is very cool. So now we will move on to doing the first boss of Crash Nitro Kart, which I can't exactly remember his name. Believe it or not, I'm terrible, but anyway, here we go.
You've collected 3 trophies, a promising start. Now you must face Terra's champion, Krunk. untouched by his cunning on the track.
They will race me. They look slow. Send them back.
But Krunk, they're from a planet just like yours. It's called Earth.
Earth! I have heard of this planet. It is a copy of my Terra. I will race them and show them who has better planet.
Okay, so that's one of the cutscenes to introduce the boss. So now what we're going to do is we're going to race him, which I believe is on Jungle Boogie again, if I'm not too mistaken.
Congratulations! You win a trophy! While in a power slide, the boost gauge will appear. When the gauge goes from green to red, the exhaust on your kart will turn black. Press the boost button to get a boost before the gauge expires.
Okay, so that is that. So now we're going to face the boss, which will of course be the Terra Championship. Of which we're going to use Crash again, because as I say, I'm sort of like a pro Crash advocate in, let's say, all of the Crash racing games. I really need to try and play Crash Tag Team Racing though, because I've not really been able to play that properly. Apparently what another friend of mine, or YouTuber of mine, both, has pointed out, is that you can actually get HDMI adapters for the PlayStation 2. So thank you so much to Spyro557 Jonathan for pointing that out to me. I'll probably need to try and get my hands on one of them so I can actually play my original PS2. Because, as many of you may or may not know, I don't exactly use a TV, I use one of those overhead home theatre projectors, which do not have any RCA connections on the back. You know, like the yellow cable. So you're only left with HDMI. So hopefully I should be able to get a HDMI adapter from a PlayStation 2, so I can finally play that again on the big screen without having to resort to using the emulator. Although emulators do come in super handy, it's just unfortunately that some games don't work properly in the emulator. Oh, I got 67 boosts, I thought I could keep the combo going. And I've still got my invincibility mask handy, which I'm going to use in a minute because it might help me get that jump more accurate. Like one game that doesn't work really well in, let's say, an emulator is Spyro 3, Year of the Dragon. Especially if you're using, let's say, one with the Paradox garbage on it, or not the greatest hits version. The copywriting tricks have made the game pretty much hell to play. So thanks to Spyro557 Jonathan again, he actually helped me out, saying that the greatest hits version works fine. So for the first time I've actually been able to play Spyro Year of the Dragon, 100% complete it, not in Reignited. So thank you so much to him for pointing it out to me. But anyway, let's continue this.
Key makes you champion of Terra. Also opens all world gates on my planet. Visit when you want. What is this? Gift from your world? Thank you. I am sorry. We actually copied your planet.
Krunk! Ooh. Leave my sight. You did well, but you're nowhere close to winning the circuit yet. On to the second world, Baron.
And I like that cutscene. I thought it was kind of funny how that like little dude started like clapping and cheering the Team Bandicoot on, but obviously all the rest of the audience weren't too impressed with him, so he must have actually felt pretty embarrassed or pretty much bullied for the rest of his life for that. But.
You've won a key.
So that now is... Hang on.
Congratulations. You have activated this world gate. Enter the gate to travel to a new world where you will find additional tracks to compete in. Good luck.
Okay, so that is, let's say, Terra, fully completed. So now we'll move on to the next world, also known as the Snow World, Bearing. Although there is one more stage I can do in this world, I'm not going to be doing it right now. And that is basically the Crystal Challenge. Although we're going to do them later on, in a later part, where we are going to be doing the part where we get the CNK tokens, just like we did the CTR tokens in our Crash Team Racing Let's Play. So, that is that for now. I'm going to leave it at that. So, I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and stopping by. I hope you're all enjoying this Let's Play, and I hope the video quality turns out good as well. But anyway, that is that. I hope you all enjoyed it. Like I've said before, many times I say it in every part of every Let's Play. So, I will see you all in Bearing in part 2.